In episode 1 of this series, if you recall, I asked you to listen differently, carefully, to really hear the music of English. If you do, you'll start to feel the difference, and you will make progress. But sometimes I hear clients say, I need some rules to try to perfect my accent. So in this episode, a present, syllable stress, and a few almost rules. Why almost rules, you ask? Because in English pronunciation, we have no perfect rules. For every rule, there's an exception. I'll say that again. For every rule, there is an exception. So let's begin, and I'll explain. Almost rule number 1. We tend to stress two-syllable nouns, adjectives, and adverbs on the first syllable. You've already heard lots of examples. Let's see, really, music, English, different, sometimes almost every adverbs. I'm tired. Tired. Now don't breathe a sigh of relief yet. Don't forget. It's just an almost rule. Most, but not all, two-syllable nouns, adjectives, and adverbs have the stress on the first syllable. As a matter of fact, you've also heard 2 exceptions. Again is an adverb. Relief is a noun, but I stressed both on the second syllable. I'll say that again. Again. Now don't breathe a sigh of relief yet. Relief. Let's progress to almost rule 2. Almost rule number 2. We tend to stress two-syllable verbs on the second syllable. So let's begin. Begin. And I'll explain. Explain. As you study and listen carefully, you'll hear many exceptions. I just gave you 2, study and listen. I stress the first syllable in both verbs. One last one. Almost rule number 3. Almost rule number 3. For two-syllable words that are both nouns and verbs or adjectives and verbs, we tend to accent the first syllable of the noun and the adjective, but the second syllable of the verb. Progress as a noun. You will make progress. Progress as a verb. Let's progress to almost rule 2. Perfect as a verb. I need some rules to try to perfect my accent. Perfect as an adjective. Because in English pronunciation, we have no perfect rules. One more. Accent as a noun. I need some rules to try to perfect my accent. Accent as a verb. We accent the first syllable of the noun and the adjective. Did you hear the difference? You're right. There was no difference. We have many words that can be both nouns and verbs, like purchase, reveal, regret, update, answer, support. And just like the word accent, they don't change at all. It's hard when you want to learn pronunciation from rules in a book because English is so full of exceptions. But it's not about perfect recall. And by the way, did you just notice that I used the word recall as a noun, stress on the first syllable? In the beginning of this episode, I used the verb recall, accent on the second syllable, if you recall. The things you notice when you listen differently and carefully. But back to my point. The thing is, when you want to learn a song, you don't depend on rules in a book. You just listen closely over and over again to the melody until you can imitate it. Listen to the music of English the same way. As you become aware of the common patterns of stress, the exceptions will begin to jump out at you. I'm going to present you with a song. Did you hear that? Present Verb, accent on the second syllable. Do you remember that I used it in the very beginning of this episode? A present, the noun, accent on the first syllable. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with a song that was written for the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver, British Columbia. Nikki Yanofsky was only 16 years old when she sang it. Listen for the two-syllable words. The verb believe, accent on the second syllable. The noun power, accent on the first syllable. Can you hear others? At the Canadian Pronunciation Coach blog, I identify the stress in each two-syllable word in the lyrics of the song and the transcript of this episode. You'll find the links to the lyrics and to the video below. So remember, listen with attention. Keep practicing. Be patient. And above all, don't give up. I'm Phyllis, the Canadian Pronunciation Coach. I'm glad you dropped by. Thank you.